Please be seated. My name is Lanny Applegate, and I want to welcome you to the 2023 Wyoming Fire Service Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Family and friends of the inductees, welcome. Firemen from across this great state, welcome. Dignitaries, I know we have Representative from Senator Barrasso, Representative Loomis is here. Treasurer Kurt Myers over on your far right. Senator Salazar, I believe, is in attendance somewhere over there on your far right. But again, welcome. And at this time, we'll have the Honor Guard post colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mark Young, past fire chief from Casper Fire Department, past deputy state fire marshal, past interim state fire marshal. So he holds a lot of titles. So Mark, please come up.
Good morning. I'm Mark. And I've been asked to stand in for Chaplain Ben Nardi, who's the chaplain for the Jackson Hole Fire Department. Ben has been here year after year after year doing the invocations and benedictions, and he's come up ill and he can't make the trip, and he's so sorry, and he wishes to express his congratulations. And he sent his prayers, and I'd be honored if you'd allow me to read his prayers today. So with that, let's pray. Gracious God, we gather this morning to acknowledge and honor three gentlemen who dedicated their time and talents to making their communities and our state a safer place to live and to work. They protected our homes, our businesses, and the Wyoming landscapes from the ravages of fire and accidents and whatever Mother Nature threw at them. They looked out for their fellow firefighters and worked hard to keep them safe. It's an honor that we can gather and enshrine them as inductees of this Hall of Fame. May this small token of our gratitude honor their dedication to their duty and honor. Amen.
Please be seated. At this time, I'm going to introduce the Wyoming State Fire Marshal, Byron Matthews.
Good morning. Thank you. Lanny said it. Mark shared it. I'll say it again. What an honor. What a privilege. What a great showing that you all take time out of your busy schedules. Such a busy day. There's so many things going on in our great state that we have such a wonderful attendance. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting our Wyoming Fire Service, wherever they may be. Truly a privilege to be here. Thank you. Lanny talked about our great dignitaries that have chosen to join us today. One group he forgot that he's an integral part of is our Hall of Fame. So we have a review board that makes the selections and reviews the folks that we get to honor today. So thank you for the members of the review board that have joined us today as well. With that, I get the cool part. I get to share my thoughts. Or maybe I get to bore you with my thoughts. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, correct. You all will be the judge of that. As I said, it's truly an honor for me. I look back on the fact of how great it is that I get to lead Wyoming's greatest team. Our team is responsible for life safety, electrical safety, fire training, and fire investigations for the state. I have the best team. Look at these grounds. You talk about a great team. Look at this beautiful place. This would not be happening and would not look this good without that team. Please help me recognize that team. They do a wonderful job of making me look good at what I do. Today, as we reflect on honoring those from the Hall of Fame, I look back at my career. I look back at those leaders that stepped up, set that example. I was a firehouse brat too. Really, really grew up in a firehouse. That was my cup of tea. And I look at the folks we're honoring today, and it's super exciting for me because I get to recognize those leaders are leading our Wyoming Fire Service. They're bringing the future of our Wyoming Fire Service. They're making what we do better. And I truly appreciate that. I know everyone that you've been a role model for really appreciates that. As I look at the audience, we talk about the leadership in the fire service and firehouse brats, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple of them kind of smirking in the front row. What a great opportunity we got, wasn't it? I mean, when you think about that, getting to grow up in a firehouse, doing those things. The dedication and commitment of our firefighters is truly remarkable. Their tireless efforts day and night exemplify their unwavering dedication to their communities. I reflect on my own passage and my time of wanting to be a firefighter and the numerous reasons why. Of course, the first one, it's absolutely the best in the world. You get to drive that shiny red fire truck. Yes, all fire trucks are red. See, I knew I'd get some of that mixed emotion when I share that. But the fact of getting to drive that shiny red fire truck, with the, as I like to say, with the woo-woos on, what an opportunity. But that fire truck really is that symbol of heroism and courage that our firefighters go out every day, regardless of the time of day, time of night, rested, weary, or otherwise. They're always there for that ask. And let me tell you, I truly appreciate the fact that our firefighters always step up, no matter the ask. We talk about those that we honor today, whether they're actually honored further for their firehouse duties or their communities, because as you all very well know, those people are great firefighters, but they're also great community leaders. They step up and set great examples in their communities. Truly appreciative of that. Firefighters obviously are typically a very humble group in how they choose to show their pride to their service in their communities. They're always there. They typically don't stand up in front and go, hey, yeah, we did this. No, they stand in the back and they smile because of the great things they've done and the great things they do for their communities. We honor those finest again today. Our fire service, composed of men and women, respond countless hours and set great examples. Losing my place. I started out with and I will end with. It is a great honor and with huge pride that I get to serve the Wyoming Fire Service. I get to serve all of you as your Wyoming State Fire Marshal. Truly appreciate that opportunity. Because without each and every one of you stepping up to support your communities, supporting your firefighters, they wouldn't be as successful as what they are. And that's important to recognize. You know, we talk about the fire service as a family. It certainly is. We take very good care of our own family, sometimes to the demise of our own families at home. So I truly appreciate the families who give that time, have allowed these firefighters to serve this great state, their great communities, and for those countless hours that they weren't home or they were tied up doing something else. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So with that, we're going to move right through, and we're going to start recognizing our honorees. So once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity. Right here.
Oh, I know that. Thanks, Don. At this time, before I introduce new inductees, I want to recognize our past inductees. In 2019, Larry Cap Lee, Gene Dietrich, Joseph Fender, Don Young, Con Astle, Russ Winkie, Robert Taylor, and myself. This induction was not about us. This induction, to me anyway, was about you guys. You guys are the ones that made us successful and to stand out. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you, each and every one of you. So with that, I am going to introduce Chief J.R. Fox from Campbell County for our first inductee, Rich Hauber.
It's my honor today to recognize the efforts and contributions that Chief Richard Hauber has made to the Wyoming Fire Service. But I also want to take a moment to recognize Rich's family, because without their support, none of these accomplishments would have happened. So on behalf of the Wyoming Fire Service and the Campbell County Fire Department, thank you to Rich's family that's here as well. Rich started his career in the Wyoming Fire Service in 1969 at the age of 14. He joined the fire department as a rural firefighter, helping his dad Walt fight wildland fires in the northern part of Campbell County. He continued his volunteer service until 1981 when he was hired as a full-time firefighter mechanic. Rich has a passion for training, which led to his appointment as the training officer in 1984. Rich obtained a long list of training certifications well before it was accepted practice in Wyoming, to include Firefighter 3, Fire Instructor 3, Fire Officer 3, and Hazardous Materials Technician. Rich also served on the Wyoming State Certification Committee for 18 years, helping the state achieve Pro Board accreditation. Rich enjoyed the technical aspects of firefighting and was passionate about his firefighters obtaining certifications. Rich continued to climb the ranks of the fire department and was named as the county emergency manager in 1991. In 1996, he moved into the role as the Campbell County Fire Warden, where he continued to develop local and regional wildland fire training, equipment, and adopted national standards. Rich thrived in the wildland fire environment, deploying to Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, California, South Dakota, New Mexico, and Arizona, as a single resource or as part of the Wild West strike teams. Rich is qualified as a Division Group Supervisor, Incident Commander Type 3, Operations Section Chief Type 3, and a variety of other qualifications. Rich served on the Rural Fire Advisory Board for 20 years, ironing out mutual aid agreements, annual operating plans, revising the Wyoming Mobilization Guide, and setting the course for generations to come. Rich was the Division Chief of Operations for the Campbell County Fire Department for 17 years. His response area was over 4,800 square miles that included over a dozen coal mines, oil and gas production facilities, interstate and state highways, rail lines, and a variety of other special hazards that had to be mitigated. Rich would manage and lead 10 fire stations with a combination of career and volunteer staff during the growth of Gillette and Campbell County. He was instrumental in creating the Allen Michelson Fire Training Center, which is a regional hub of fire training in northeast Wyoming. He was and is often called upon to assist other local fire departments to instruct a myriad of topics from wildland training to medical courses. Rich would also be involved in the formation of the 6 original regional emergency response teams in Wyoming. Rich finished his tenure in 2008 as the interim fire chief. Rich received several awards, including Firefighter of the Year, Rural Firefighter of the Year, and our Lifetime Achievement Award, the Walk of Fame. He's received letters of commendation from governors of several states, including Wyoming, Montana, and California, and several Type 1 incident commanders. Once retired as a career firefighter, he moved back to northern Campbell County, where his fire career began, and he continues to serve to this day as a rural firefighter. When most career firefighters retire, they actually retire. Rich is a little bit of an exception. He continues to serve the citizens in any capacity necessary. He also continues to train. He regularly attends our weekly trainings, loves going to trauma conferences with his wife, and a variety of trainings that are offered. He's there. Rich was not simply content to keep his knowledge and experience to himself. Rich was and is a mentor to many in the Wyoming Fire Service. Rich was instrumental in a few notable statewide initiatives, including the design and implementation of the first Wyoming firefighter license plate. He also testified and was a big part in getting initial funding for the Wyoming State Helitack program. Rich would lend his expertise and instructor to multiple fire schools across the state and region. He also spent time on the Campbell County Predator Board in the Campbell County Conservation District and had over 20 years in the Wyoming EMS system and still maintains his EMR license today. When Rich was recently asked why he devoted so many years to public service, his response was simple: the satisfaction of helping people when they needed it most. In conclusion, Rich Hauber has accomplished a great deal in his 50-plus years in the Wyoming Fire Service. Rich was and is a member of the Campbell County Fire Department, but he served statewide in a variety of capacities. He ensured the Wyoming Fire Service progressed, that training would be our cornerstone, and that we would adopt a robust mutual aid system so that neighbors could help neighbors when needed. He would spend the summers of his adult life helping on wildland fires across the West, ensuring that Wyoming firefighters were safe, that they were trained and adequately supervised, including the Yellowstone fires of 1988. Rich has not sought and would not seek this honor, but it's incumbent on those of us who have come after Rich to recognize his contributions to our careers and to the Wyoming Fire Service. Rich, someday you will actually retire, I think. When you do, know that you left the Wyoming Fire Service in a better place than when you joined in 1969. So on behalf of the Wyoming Fire Service, thank you. Chief Hauber, if you could stand, and if I could ask the honor guard to escort you up front.
I knew it was going to come to this. I'm the one that's usually in the back, not wanting to be recognized, so this is tough, believe me. I didn't retire, I just quit getting paid. And so I don't know, someday it will come. Somebody asked me one time, how did you know when it was time to retire from being a career firefighter? And I said, you'll wake up someday and say it's time. But I haven't had that day yet as a volunteer, so hopefully I keep being able to do what I do. I just want to thank everybody so much. Every time I look around, there's somebody new that showed up that I didn't know was coming, and I appreciate it so much. I wanted to quietly sneak in here by myself, accept this, and sneak out, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. So for one time, I have to be here in front of everybody, and you wouldn't realize how much I'm shaking just doing that. So because that's not me. I'm the one that's usually in the back. So thank you so very much.
Congratulations again, Rich. Well deserved. And welcome to the club. At this time, I'd introduce Chief Larry Erdman from Green River.
Thank you, guys. So while I never got the opportunity to serve under Chief Hill, several of the guys here did serve under Chief Hill. And when you come in after a leadership like Chief Hill had, and he had such an impact on the people before, that his qualities continue through my career, that means a lot and shows a lot of what kind of person he truly was. Glenn Hill began his fire career as a volunteer for the Green River Fire Department in 1949, while he was still attending high school. Glenn Hill would be released from class when the fire bell would ring and would respond to the call. After serving in the Air Force, Glenn returned to volunteering at the fire department. While he was a volunteer, Glenn also was taking on duties in the department as secretary and treasurer. In 1965, he became the first chief for the department as a volunteer, and also had the responsibility of president of the First National Bank. In 1985, the city of Green River opted to make the fire chief emergency management director a full-time position, where Chief Glenn Hill served until his retirement in 1995. Chief Hill served in the Missouri Valley Division of the International Association of Fire Chiefs as president in 1991 and again in 1993. Chief Hill is the only fire chief to hold that office twice, and still to this day, it's still the only one to do that. Chief Hill was known throughout the Missouri Valley Fire Division, and the Missouri Valley Fire Division consisted of 8 states including Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. At the Grand Junction Conference of the Missouri Valley Division Conference in 2019, longtime Kansas City Metro Fire Chief Smokey Dyers, who is retired, said of Chief Hill's passing that Chief Hill was truly a pillar of the fire service and the division, and that his leadership and guidance were truly an asset to both the division and the fire service. Chief Hill was a humble leader who did not seek office for his own ends, but rather to further the needs of the fire service as a whole. Together with his close friend, Fire Chief Don Young from Laramie Fire, they represented the Wyoming Fire Service well. When Chief Hill spoke, people listened. Chief Hill can also be credited with helping set the standards for the models of a combination fire department in southwest Wyoming. When Sweetwater County Fire District Number 1 was formed, Chief Hill Wanacott, retired, spoke at length with Chief Hill to formulate a plan to develop their new agency. Chief Hill's ideas and his accomplishments continued to resonate through the fire service in Wyoming through today. Chief Hill was a pillar of the community and a champion of the fire service. And unfortunately, Chief Hill's family couldn't be here, so Captain J.P. Apostolope is here to receive the honors on their behalf. If we can get the honor guard there.
Thank you, everybody. I have a letter that the family wrote. I'll read to you. On behalf of my mother, Arlene Hill, my wife, Linda, and I would like to express our sincere thanks to the Wyoming Fire Service Hall of Fame Review Board for the posthumous selection of my father, Glenn Hill. Hill to the Hall of Fame. We know that my father would have been deeply humbled by this honor. We also wish to thank the State Fire Marshal's Office, the Fire Academy, and our special thanks and deepest gratitude to all the members and past and present of the Green River Fire Department. Sincerely, Willie Hill. It's pretty hard to come up here and follow the speakers that we've had. So I'm going to try to do pretty short and sweet, but I wrote a little bit about Glenn Hill. Chief Glenn Hill was a chief of chiefs. He wore many hats. He was a husband, a father, a bank president, a fire chief, and on many boards, not just at the city level, but the state and national levels. Chief Hill introduced the certification process into the Green River Fire Department. He also was a big part of the ISO rating, and this did not come without some resistance. Chief Hill was a mentor of many, and not just in the fire service. As my wife puts it, he took groups of young clunks and made us good men. Chief Hill, in my eyes, was the head of a consumer service. His customers, which provided a great service to the city and to the county and to the state. I'm a second generation firefighter, and my dad served under Chief Hill. When I came on the fire service, Chief Hill took me under his wing. He taught me the importance of serving my community. I would not have made the great achievements in the fire service if not for the mentoring of Chief Hill. I am very honored by being asked by the Hill family to accept this award on their behalf. A great many thanks to Chief Walmsley, Chief Larry Erdman, and the Wyoming State Fire Service Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Everything you heard Chief Larry Urban say is true. I had the honor and privilege to know Chief Hill. So Means I've been around too long. So, anyways, next on our list is Bob Glasson, who introduced Jerry Munger.
Thanks, Lanny. Good morning. Thank you, Director Matthews, Lanny. What a glorious Wyoming day to honor these men. Rich, congrats. Chief Hill, awesome. You know, I think some regrets in life are missed opportunities. Some are career, some are financial, but the most important are family-based, those regrets. Well, let me tell you something, Jerry. This family right here, we didn't want to miss an opportunity to say thank you and recognize you for your service to this great state. I'd like to nominate Jerry Munger from the Wheatland Volunteer Fire Department for the Wyoming Hall of Fame Award 2023. Jerry started his fire career in his hometown of Alliance, Nebraska. We don't really hold that against him much. Never seen him wear a hat with an N on it. After a short time, he moved to Boulder, Colorado, working for Flatiron Company, and started raising his family. In 1978, Jerry had the opportunity to move to Wheatland, and he helped build the Laramie River Power Plant. So he loaded up his family, and he moved to a small house outside of town. In 1979, Jerry moved his family to town in a new house and picked up on his volunteer activities with the Wheatland Volunteer Fire Department. Over the last 44 years, Jerry's held every position on the department, including serving as chief, president, captain, lieutenant, has held multiple certifications. He's sat on many boards, including the Wyoming State Firemen's Association, the Wyoming State Fire Chiefs, the Missouri Valley Fire Chiefs Association, and most recently, and still serving on the Wyoming State Volunteer Firefighter Pension Board. Jerry works tirelessly with errands and odd jobs within the department. And as a fire chief there, I can assure you that without Jerry's work and help, many projects wouldn't get done. Some might not even get started. Even today, at this writing, Jerry is ready, willing, and able to go on the next fire call. At 79 years young, he is still the department top responder and has been for many years, never failing to show up in the middle of the night, rain or snow, or even on a calm night, he'll show up. So some would say that the fire department is his life. That's not accurate. Jerry's family is his life, but his sense of service, dedication, and community are what he leads with and his example of how to be a great family man and mentor. Both his sons have served on their communities and on their respective fire departments for over 30 years, and they continue to still serve. His grandsons, Austin and Caleb, have both served on the department and continue to serve. Myself, his son-in-law, Jerry, sponsored me to be on the fire department, and I continue to serve. His daughters both serve this great state, doing many civic duties as well as supporting the Wyoming Fire Service. Jerry's imprint is far and wide in this state. The Wyoming Fire Service would not be what it is today without Jerry Munger. He's starting his 44th year, and we on the Wheatland Fire Department look forward to many more with him. So, Jer, we honor you today, but not for what you've done in the Wyoming Fire Service, but more importantly, what you've done so far. I know there's still a little more gas in the tank. I'm looking forward to many more times around the day table having coffee, many more fire calls, many more late nights on the fire ground, a few more jokes and laughs, and the opportunity to share and be brothers. So thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to call up Jerry's sons and grandsons to just give a visual view of his fire legacy while you're presented with the Hall of Fame trophy. Jerry, could you stand? Color guard, could you escort Chief Munger? We have the newest firefighter right there. You want us to hold that? Huh? Would you like us to hold that?
Yes, please.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Good morning. I guess great things come in quantities. I'm not sure if Byron plagiarized me or if I wrote this thank you speech while sitting back there. It'll sound a lot alike, but all 4 points are very, very true. I want to thank, number one, the selection committee for allowing me to join my career-long heroes, some of which, well, all of which are on that board, and teachers who showed me the way it should be done. Two, I want to thank my family for allowing me to go at the worst possible family times, as most of them generally are. Without their support, none of us could be here for very long. It takes commitment from them more so than us, actually. To the Wheatland Volunteer Fire Department and the fire service for providing an outlet to help my community and fellow beings, as some of who are having possibly the worst day of their life. Sorry, I'm an old guy. Number 4. Excuse me a minute. And I want to thank all of you who are here as for the demonstrating your belief in the words, we will never forget. The ones who gave it all for the good of all of the rest of us. And that says it all in a nutshell, I believe. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations again, Jerry. Thank you, Kay, for sharing him with us, and the Jerry Munger family. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to State Fire Marshal Byron Matthews.
Boy, remember I started, what an honor? How about that? We got to honor 3 super cool individuals. And you got to see that emotion. You watch me get emotional about it. You got to see that emotion. That's how important it is. And, thank you. Thank you so much to the families, to the members, to the Wyoming Fire Service. Once again, let's recognize those guys. That was tough. Now that y'all sat back down, the second most important recognition that we fail to do most often. Thank you to every one of the families and every one of the kids, wives, husbands, and otherwise that give that. Thank you. The last thing I'll share in closing is It's super fun to be on this side of the crowd because I get to see all of that emotion. I get to see the smile. I get to see the enjoyment. I get to see the pleasure. And like I said when I started, I get the honor of being your Wyoming State Fire Marshal. And what an opportunity. So thank you for what you've allowed me to do. Thank you for being here today. And with that, I'm going to ask Chief Young to come up and offer our invocation. Before he does that, we'll let the families know we didn't do our photo ops during the ceremony. So what we'll do is everybody that wants photos, whoever you want to include in those photos, we'll do that with the plaque after we conclude. Okay? Chief?
Thank you, Director. I would like to read Chaplain Nardi's benediction. My friends, we have gathered and remembered. We have heard eloquent words and precious memories. We have honored dedication to duty, community, and family. Let us follow the trail that these three men have laid out before us, in the hope of making our communities, our colleagues, and our state safe and secure. Now go in peace. Amen.
See, I've got somebody telling me what to do here too, besides just my wife. Please join us now at 1:30 for lunch.
1:30 for the Wyoming Firefighters Memorial.
For the I'm getting there. That's line 2.
We're going to eat lunch immediately before we do 1:30.
Okay.
That's all.
I read it like it says, but lunch is immediately, and then the Fallen Firefighter Memorial is at 1:30. Please join us for that. Honor Guard, please escort the families.